Now, everybody look around the room and see if the people look different to you now than when you came in. I don't know about you, but when I was dating, I used to go into a room like this and I'd go like this. There's nobody here. And I would have missed knowing you. I would have missed knowing you because I would have already judged that there was nobody here that was going to be my perfect love. And I know I'm not the only one. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my dating life. Was 6.5, 7 years ago, I decided I have been a dating disaster all my life. I have been doing nothing but my career was successful. I had friends. I was in great health. I had everything going for me. I just still didn't have the relationship I've been looking for all my life. I had 2 failed marriages. I had lots of relationships. I was a marriage and family therapist. I had read lots of books. I had done all this stuff, and I still didn't have the love of my life. So I decided I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to master this thing. I'm going to go for it. And I called this girlfriend of mine in San Francisco, and she goes, well, how can I help you with that? And she said, she was on the online dating, and I said, well, why don't we call each other a couple times a week and coach each other and cheerlead? She says, that's great. So we started doing that. I went on 5 online dating sites, and I started working them, and within about a month, she found somebody. So I was all alone again. So I had these 5 online dating profiles, and I was starting to learn how to do that. And I went to 20 meetups. Greg and I met in a meetup. How many people are here for meetup? A few, not so many. Okay, I highly recommend it. So I went on 20 or 30 meetups. You don't ever have to go, but it's a good way to meet people and whatever. And practice your social skills. And I went to anything I could think of. I used to go to art gallery openings because it's free and they give you free wine. And I kind of like arty type people, unconventional people. And I just did whatever I could, and I started meeting sometimes 2 or 3 men a week, sometimes 2 or 3 men a day. And I hired a dating coach, a very unusual dating coach. I hired a pickup artist. That's a guy who specializes in picking up women. I hired him because I'd read The Game. Does anybody remember The Game? The guys do. And I was not a very outgoing person, and I wanted to learn how to be able to go up to a man I felt interested in and just say hi. That scared me to death. Or, you do it and you're kind of nervous and it doesn't go over well. So anyway, I practiced going out and talking to men and talking to women and whatever, just going out and did this whole thing. But it didn't really, so I started getting better skills, but it didn't really relate to what I had experienced. It's kind of like, how does that fit with my spiritual life? How does that fit with being a spiritual person? Not a whole lot of people out of the closet as being spiritual people online. I wasn't. So I was always in this quandary about how that made sense. Because when I lived at the ashram in India, people met in a very different way. People were friends first. Osho said that friendship is higher than love. And everyone would be friends, friendly. Now, it's a special kind of environment. Everybody was spiritual. Obviously, everybody's the kind of person who would go to India, hang out in an ashram that's got a great swimming pool and other cool single people. We were not sitting around eating brown rice. And everyone was friends first, and out of that friendship, you would see, if you were interested, does a sexual friendship make sense with this person that I already like? Now, this is backwards to here, because here the last thing you want to be is in the friend zone, am I right? The friend zone means death. Okay? Actually, in Tantra, the friend zone is where you want to be. Because if you're going to have really great sex with somebody, if you're going to have a really great relationship with somebody, if you're going to have a soulmate quality to your relationship, you have got to have deep friendship and trust. And when you have that level of deep trust and deep friendship, the sex will only be better and better and better. So we're not totally focused on the sex in Tantra, despite the rumors. We're very sex positive. But this always didn't make sense for me, what I'd experienced at the ashram, where you're friendly with people. You may start up dating somebody, so to speak, there. And if it didn't work out, you weren't like, oh, that creep. You were just like, well, it didn't work out, and you'd still see them. And your friendship would evolve into something else. Rather than, I hate you, I'm victimized by you, you're a creep, I never want to see you again, it was wrong. It was just like, well, the friendship morphed into something else. Maybe I wanted it to go longer, maybe he wanted it to go longer, but there was a fluidity to it that was not here. There also wasn't any swipe left, swipe right there. It was just meeting people like this, hanging out in workshops, people who are interested in personal growth, and who do I naturally resonate with? So I was trying to figure out how to do this, and when I figured it out, that's when I wrote this book. And I just found out in the last month, I didn't even know this, a friend told me, this book has been named by Book Authority as one of the best dating books of all time. I'm very moved by that. Thank you. Thank you. I was quite surprised. I thought it was way too unconventional. So I put it all together here. And then a year and a half before the pandemic, we started doing live workshops once a month. Kimberly was there, and we had some other regulars. Every month we do different exercises. There's still the format of kind of how we do things, but you meet different people, and if this is your type of thing, we could talk more about that later. So I put it together here. And then as my dating improved, as I was able to put my spiritual principles into my dating, I was able to get closer and closer, and finally met this amazing man who was everything, more than what I dreamed, and both of us are always saying, I never knew a relationship could be this good. I just really didn't even know to ask for this much. So that is possible for you. I know it is. Okay? But you probably have to go about it in a different way than the conventional Western dating world. Because look, everybody, swipe left and swipe right is a very unloving way to treat other human beings. You cannot find love by being unloving. You can't find love if you're not in a vibration of love yourself. So what is it asking us to do? It's asking us to judge people by very strict criteria and then decide yes or no, and then go tell our friends, oh my God, I just dated this person. They were such a creep. I can't believe I had to waste time meeting this person. And I was like that. That's what I was taught. That's what I thought. That's what my friends were into. It's so nice to get up here and share your dark side with people, isn't it? I was like that. And then gradually I started bringing my spiritual principles into it, how could we be friends first? If I'm going to sit with you and have a coffee date for 45 minutes or an hour, how could we be as loving as possible? So we're going to practice a little bit of that today without the coffee.